Hello guys, welcome to the next video on Linux command line tutorial for beginners. And in this video I'm going to show you how we can use apt-get command to install packages or remove packages or manage packages on your Debian based Linux operating system. So as you all know that Ubuntu is a Debian based operating system, and in most of the Debian based operating system you can use apt-get command to do most of the things related with installing packages or removing packages or updating the package manager which are there on your system, right? So first of all, what is apt-get? Apt-get is a command line tool for working with apt software packages. And what's the full form of apt? Apt is the advanced packaging tool which are available for the Debian based operating system, right? Now if you are using for example the Red Hat based operating system, for example Fedora or CentOS, you can use yum, or I think there is one more command called dnf command instead of apt-get, right? So for all Debian based operating system you can use apt-get. So just use apt-get, and because you need to have super user privileges for using this apt-get command because you are installing it on your system, you just need to use sudo before your apt-get command. Now there are bunch of command which you can use with apt-get, and first is the command called update. Okay, so apt-get update. And what this command is going to do is it's going to resynchronize your local package file as compared to the remote server. So it's going to resynchronize your local index of package files. Okay, and this package files are saved in a file called etc/apt/sources.list. so I'm going to show you this file once I perform this command. So just press enter here and give your password, and then once again press enter, and it's going to update all the packages from the remote repository. So you can see it's updating all the packages from the remote repository, and it's going to take a few seconds I think, and then all the packages will be updated. Okay, now as I told you, you can see this file. For example, I can do nano for this, and then etc, and then apt, and then sources, I think sources.list. okay, and then press enter, and you can see there is this file, and in this file all the repositories where you can find these repositories, and this list of packages are there. Okay, so you can update this package manually also, but most of the time when you are new, you don't want to change this file. It's going to be changed automatically by this update command, right? But whenever you are a more experienced Linux user, you can change it if you know what you are doing. Okay, so for now I'm going to just give Control X command to exit out of this file, but these all packages are stored in this file. Okay, so now you know where they are stored. Okay, so I'm going to just clear the terminal. Now for example, I want to install some software. So how you can install it? So for example, I want to install software called Java, but I need to know whether it's there on my system or not. So I can just give this command java minus version, and then press enter, and it's going to give me the version of Java. So it gives me Java 1.7.0. so I know that Java is already installed, so I don't need to install it. So let's try once again. For example, I know that PHP 5 is not installed on my system, so I can use once again PHP minus version, and now it says the program PHP5 is currently not installed, you can install it by typing sudo apt-get install php5 CLI command, right? So if the package or the software is not installed, sometimes it's also going to give you the hint whatever command you can use to install this software. For example, it's giving us the hint that you can use this command to install PHP5, but it's not always correct. Maybe you want the different version of the PHP, or for example you want only the PHP5, not the CLI. CLI stand for command line interface, right? So to install a software, you do the same. So you just write sudo apt-get install, and then for example PHP5, which is the software I want to install, right? And then press enter, and you notice that it doesn't require my password this time because I already have given this password earlier, right? Now what this command is going to do is it's going to first of all recognize that whatever extra software or dependencies this PHP5 software requires, and it's going to make a list of all the dependencies and software this PHP software requires, and then is going to show you this list, and it's also going to show you the amount of space it's going to take on your computer. So for example, this PHP5 is going to take 25.7 megabyte of memory on my system, and then it's going to ask you whether you want to install it. This much amount of memory will be taken. So if you want to install it, you can just say Y. It can be small y or capital Y, and then press enter, and it's going to start installing this software. Now it can take few seconds to few minutes to install a particular package depending upon the size of this package and your internet availability. So just let it install, and then once it will be installed, we can see how we can remove it. Okay, so once this package or software is installed, for example I installed PHP5, I can now know the version of it, so I can just give the clear command, and then once again I'm going to give this PHP5 version, and now it's giving me different errors which says PHP parse error. So because now PHP5 is installed on my system, PHP5 takes a file name with it, for example PHP5 and the file name, right? Something like this. And now because the PHP5 is installed, here to know the version, you can just use instead of PHP5 minus version, you just need to write PHP5 minus V and then press enter, and it's going to show you the version of it. So now I know that this version of PHP is installed on my system. Now for example, sometimes you want to remove a software from a system, and for this you can use once again sudo apt-get install. So you can use sudo apt-get, but instead of install you can use remove command with this. Okay, so just use remove with this apt-get command, and it's going to remove the software from the system. But keep in mind, it's not going to remove all the configuration from your system. It's just going to remove this software. So if you remember, whenever we have installed this software using apt-get install, it has also downloaded and installed some bunch of dependency of this PHP5 software, for example Apache and different kind of libraries, right? Now this command is only going to remove this. It's not going to remove the configurations or any other thing which is dependent on this PHP5. So just give this command, and then it's going to just say that it's going to be removed, and then just press Y and press enter, and sometimes it's going to be removed, this software. Now if you want to remove the configuration files also for this PHP, you can just use the purge flag with this. So just write purge here, for purge. So sudo apt-get remove -- purge, and then this command php5, and what it's going to do is it's going to remove all the configuration file related to this php5. Okay. Now sometimes you also want to remove some of the libraries or some of the softwares which are not used by their initial parent softwares, right? And for this you can use a command called sudo apt-get auto remove. Okay, so auto remove, and this auto remove command is used to remove packages that were automatically installed to satisfy the dependency for the other packages and are now no longer needed. Okay, so once you give this command, you will see once again this these bunch of libraries which are now going to be uninstalled. So if you remember, when we have installed php5, with this this Apache software also comes, this lib files or libraries also came with this PHP. So now because we have uninstalled PHP, these packages are also not required, so you can uninstall them. But always carefully read this list. Sometimes you end up uninstalling the software which you don't even want to remove it, right? But for now I know that yeah, it's safe to remove all these things, so I can just give Y and then press enter, and it's going to remove all the unrequired packages which are not required by the their dependencies, right? So in this way you can use this apt-get command for installing, removing, or removing the dependencies. And there are lots and lots of flag which you can use with this apt-get command, but this is the most frequently used command with this apt-get. So I hope you have understood the basic concept. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please rate, comment, and subscribe, and bye for now.